Station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Coming up on your news at 6, a massive storm made its way across the DMV and left as quick as it came. A look at the damage done in one Maryland county. A late-night mass shooting leaves 8 people injured in the district, including a 12-year-old girl. And we have the phone call directing first responders to the car that plunged into the Anacostia River. The latest in the investigation into how police searched under the wrong bridge. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6. I'm Daniel Hamburg. It has been a day for the weather. We have meteorologist Scott Sumner and Derek Bowen in the studio with us today to break down the storm that blew through the DMV today. Let's start off with Scott. Scott, this went through our area pretty quickly. I got soaked on the way into my car on the way to work today.
Yeah, you said it rightly there, Daniel. It blew through the area a lot faster than models predicted, and certainly a lot faster than we thought maybe here even in the Weather Center. Want to show you one thing starting right out of the gate here with storm reports. A lot of them, all of them wind damage, even though there was some small hail out there. This one, multiple trees snapped and uprooted. One tree impacted a home, fence blown down over around the Poolesville, Maryland area. I had heard that maybe there was a tornado there, but I checked with the National Weather Service. No tornado has been confirmed. I want to repeat, no tornado has been confirmed in the Poolesville area, but they may send out a survey team. They may check out some of that damage here. This is what it looked like just a couple of hours ago. Again, you could see the heavy rain moving on through. This is the last batch of it just a couple of hours ago, and then scooting out in towards Delaware. So again, we could still see some rain showers across the region, but as far as severe weather, that is over with. As a matter of fact, all the severe weather alerts here are done with by the National Weather Service. So with that being said, it's not quite over yet. In the Weather Center, Derek Bowden has more on that information. Derek, what do you have?
Yeah, with those downed trees and power lines, we saw some power outages across the DMV, especially in areas towards Falls Church and Arlington. We saw for a good time there. That was pretty much the epicenter of where those power outages are. Even as areas back towards Baltimore with those showers and storms rolling on in, also still seeing customers without power at this current time. But outside the main bit of the storm, we still had some gusty winds, even for Frederick, 40-mile-per-hour winds there. And we didn't even have a severe thunderstorm in Hagerstown, 35, and definitely seeing some very blustery conditions all across the DMV with winds anywhere from 25 up to 45 miles per hour. That's outside the severe weather area, but we also saw some much needed rain into the region, seeing anywhere between a quarter up to 3/4 of an inch, the most seeing in Leesburg at 8/10 of an inch. Desperately needed this rainfall because we are still in that moderate drought across the entire area. But the good news is, I think with this rain and for the promising rains ahead, we may be out of this drought here very shortly.
Thank you, Derek. As the storms cleared out in Montgomery County and across the area, damage was reported. RNA Simmons shows us the aftermath.
Heavy rain and thunderstorms rolled through the DMV this afternoon. Weather conditions caused by wind, lightning, and rain blew leaves from trees and lowered power lines. These thunderstorms caused a lightning strike on a house around 2:30. According to the public information officer with Montgomery County Fire and Rescue, the lightning strike actually hit the gas line and it caught fire. Crews were able to control the fire quickly and no injuries were reported. And power lines fell in other parts of the county, and we are working to bring you more details at 9 in our weather wrap-up. Reporting in Montgomery County, Anais Simmons, DC News Now.
Well, developing now out of the district, a mass shooting in southeast D.C. sent at least 8 people to the hospital, including a 12-year-old girl. Police now working to find whoever opened fire at not one but 2 locations. Police say the primary scene is the 500 block of LeBaume Street in Southeast. The other scene is 2nd Street Southeast. The distance between these 2 locations is 4 miles apart. Investigators say the first shots fired called came in at about 10 p.m. last night. When officers got there, they found multiple people shot, but they say their injuries were not life-threatening. While on the first scene, they got the call about the second scene. Again, at least 8 people shot. Police say 7 men at the first scene, and the 12-year-old girl girl at the second scene. Police say what happened is completely unacceptable.
For some reason, you have some people who think that it was okay to fire a firearm at multiple individuals at two different scenes, and we're not going to let that stand. And so again, we're asking the community, please, anybody who knows anything, to give us a call. We have no idea what the motive is. I can assure you, though, that we are going to get to the bottom of this. This is unacceptable.
Witnesses from the first scene tell investigators they saw a black Mercedes-Benz drive through the block and started shooting people. Anyone with information that can help is asked to call or text DC police. Also developing, tonight we are learning more about a crash that left one person dead in D.C. early Friday morning. D.C. police say it happened shortly before 6 a.m. on Piney Branch Road in northwest D.C. Investigators say the Toyota Prius made a turn and collided with 32-year-old Jin Park, who was riding a motorcycle. Park was pronounced dead at the scene. And one man is dead and 5 people are displaced after an apartment fire this morning in northeast D.C. It happened on the 1400 block of Saratoga Avenue. The fire started in a 3rd-floor apartment and extended into the attic. It took about 30 minutes to put out. The cause is under investigation. And developing now, an abortion pill approved for use all the way back in 2000 will for now still be legal. That decision coming from the Supreme Court yesterday. The question now, what's next for the pill that's been used more than 5 million times? Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson explains.
The White House responded to this ruling from the Supreme Court, saying it stands by the FDA's evidence that the abortion medication is safe. President Biden going on to say in a statement that the stakes could not be higher for women in this country. A small group of anti-abortion demonstrators rallied outside of the Supreme Court Friday.
This will determine how pro-life the justices are.
They called on the court to keep the ruling from a federal judge in Texas in place. The ruling struck down the FDA's decade-old approval of what is now the country's most common abortion medication.
When it comes at least to abortion drugs, the FDA has acted in what appears to be a pretty arbitrary way.
Thomas Jipping with the Heritage Foundation says the case is less about the abortion debate and more about the safety protocols used by the FDA.
I think we should all expect that when government agencies like the FDA make decisions, that they should follow the law.
While the case is appealed, the White House asked the Supreme Court to put the ruling on hold.
FDA has the right to approve.
Regardless of the Supreme Court's decision, Democrats in Congress say they will keep pushing for nationwide protections of reproductive rights.
And that means a much more active Congress in pushing back when the Supreme Court does absolutely stupid things that rob women and rob people generally of their rights.
And this issue is already front and center for many heading into the 2024 campaign. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson, back to you.
In Prince George's County, dozens of people came out to celebrate Earth Day to plant trees and enhance the environment at Glass Manor Elementary School in Oxon Hill. The event was a partnership between the school and a local sorority chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Students and the community helped plant 3 trees, and they also got to plant herbs in a pot and take them home. It's a part of the sorority's Enhance Our Environment initiative to unite the community and create a more sustainable environment for future generations.
We have to think about the next generation and every generation to come. We need to clean our environment and we need to protect it. The biggest takeaway is just commitment to a brighter future for the world, a commitment to teamwork, a commitment to partnership, and a commitment to thriving and doing everything we can to make sure the world is a better place.
And this was just one of several events in partnership with the elementary school.